You've felt it, haven't you? That moment when the world seems to tilt, when the weight of injustice presses down on your chest, when it feels like the scales will never balance. You've been tested, pushed to the edge, and maybe, just maybe, you've wondered if the wrongdoers will ever face the consequences of their actions. But let me tell you this, justice is not just a concept, it's a force. A relentless, unstoppable force. And that force is moving. It's coming. For them. For you. For all of us. Because justice is not just a human idea, it's a divine principle. It's rooted in the very character of God, who is just and righteous in all his ways. Life has a way of testing us, doesn't it? It throws obstacles in our path, challenges our resolve, and sometimes it feels like those who lie, cheat, and manipulate walk away unscathed. But here's the truth you need to hold on to. Justice doesn't forget. It doesn't fade. It doesn't stop. It's patient, yes, but when it arrives, it doesn't knock gently. It kicks the door wide open. Right now, you might feel the weight of betrayal, the sting of being underestimated, the frustration of being silenced. But here's what they didn't count on. Your strength, your resolve, your refusal to stay down. They thought they could break you, but they didn't see the fire burning inside you. They didn't see the storm you've been brewing. And trust me, when it hits, they won't know what hit them. Justice isn't just about courts or judges or laws. It's about you. It begins the moment you stop accepting the lies and start claiming your truth. It begins when you refuse to back down, when you stand tall and say enough. They thought their power, their influence, their manipulation would protect them. But the truth always surfaces. And when it does, there's no running, no hiding, no escape. Justice isn't about revenge. It's about restoration. It's about balance. It's about making sure that what was taken, what was broken, what was lost is accounted for. And if you've been wronged, hear this. Your time is coming. The energy you've poured into staying strong, into holding your head high, into believing that truth will prevail, it's not wasted. It's fueling the fire. The universe is aligning, and when the time is right, justice will arrive with precision, power, and clarity. So today, stand tall. Let your heart beat with conviction, not fear. Let your mind focus on your purpose, not your pain. And most importantly, let your soul trust in the process. Justice is on its way. It's coming for them. And when it arrives, the world will know that truth, integrity, and righteousness always prevail. They thought they could get away with it. They thought they were untouchable. But here's what they didn't understand. Justice doesn't operate on their timeline. It doesn't care about their status, their wealth, or their influence. It's a force of nature. And when it comes, it will leave no stone unturned. They will pay in full. Not because you demand it, but because the very fabric of life demands it. You are not powerless. You are the catalyst. The moment you decided to stand up, to speak out, to demand what's right, you set something in motion. Justice doesn't start in the courts or the streets. It starts in your heart, in your soul, in your mind. It starts when you say no more. And when you make that choice, justice doesn't just come. It rushes in like a tidal wave, sweeping away everything that doesn't belong. They thought they could silence you, but they underestimated the power of your voice. They thought they could outsmart you, but they didn't realize that truth is the most powerful force in the universe. It doesn't need to scream. It doesn't need to force its way in. It simply is. And when it arrives, it will shake the very ground beneath their feet. Think about it. History is full of stories where the corrupt, the deceitful, the greedy, they all had their moment. They thought they were untouchable. But eventually, the truth caught up with them. And when it did, the weight of their actions came crashing down with a force they could never outrun. It wasn't fast, it wasn't instant, but it was unstoppable. You might be feeling the frustration of waiting, of watching, of wondering when or how things will balance out. But let me tell you this, you are not waiting in vain. Justice is moving behind the scenes. The universe is aligning everything, and when the time comes, it will not ask for permission. It will not ask for mercy. It will arrive with precision and clarity, and it will deliver exactly what is needed to restore. Don't lose hope. Don't let doubt cloud your mind. Justice is coming. It might take time, but it is coming. And when it does, it will leave nothing untouched. Those who thought they could get away with it will pay in full, because justice doesn't stop, and it will never be denied. Life will test you. That's a given. It's going to challenge you in ways you never thought possible, push you to your limits, and sometimes it will feel like you're carrying the weight of the world on your shoulders. And when that happens, when the betrayals, the lies, the unfairness of it all hits you, it can feel like you're losing, like the ones who wronged you will get away with it, walk away unscathed, while you're left holding the pieces of what they broke. But here's what I want you to understand. These trials are not the end of the story. They are the beginning of something far greater. Yes, it's tough. Yes, it's painful. Yes, it feels like the world is testing your strength, your resolve, and your ability to stay upright in the face of chaos. But guess what? Every time life pushes you down, it's also giving you an opportunity to rise higher. Every time you face injustice, it's building your character, your resilience, and your capacity to overcome. You might feel like those who hurt you are just walking away free, without consequence. Maybe it seems like they have the power, the resources, the ability to keep you in the shadows while they enjoy their false victories. But let me tell you something. This is not the end for them. They may think they've won. They may think they're untouchable. But in reality, their time is running out. No one is immune from the consequences of their actions. Sooner or later, those consequences catch up. Injustice never lasts forever. It might seem like it does, but eventually the truth breaks through. Those who deceive, who take what isn't theirs, who manipulate and harm others, they cannot escape forever. They might try to run, they might try to hide. But what they don't understand is this. Justice doesn't have an expiration date. It doesn't fade away with time. It keeps moving forward relentlessly, and it's coming for them. So I want you to remember this. When it feels like life is unfair, when it feels like they're getting away with it, justice is coming. You're not the only one who sees it. Life is watching, the universe is watching, and it's taking notes. It doesn't forget. And eventually, those who think they've gotten away with it will find that justice doesn't operate on anyone's timeline, but its own. It is inevitable. They will pay. And when it comes, they'll realize they can't outrun the truth. Let me tell you something about the truth. It is the most powerful force in the universe. It doesn't need to scream. It doesn't need to force its way in. It simply is. It stands tall, unwavering, and undeniable. The truth is not bound by time. It doesn't bend to the will of the corrupt, and it doesn't care how many people try to cover it up or hide it. Eventually, it will break through. And when it does, there is no hiding, no denying, no running from it. You see, the people who wronged you, they might have thought they could bury the truth. Maybe they thought that by keeping you in the dark, by twisting the story, by manipulating the facts, they could escape accountability. But the truth doesn't need your permission. It doesn't need their permission. It will find its way to the surface, no matter how long it takes, no matter how many obstacles they throw in its path. The reason truth is so powerful is because it's not based on opinions. It's not subjective. It's not something that can be altered, twisted, or faked. It's the foundation of everything. And when the truth emerges, it destroys the lies. It dismantles the facade. It exposes the corruption, the manipulation, the deceit for what it truly is. And it does so with an intensity that no one can ignore. So if you're sitting there, feeling the weight of what's been done to you, wondering when the truth will finally come out, I want you to know that you're not waiting in vain. The truth is not lost. It's not gone. It's building momentum. And when it arrives, it will shake the very ground beneath those who thought they could get away with their lies. They can hide for a while. They can pretend. But the truth has an incredible way of showing up exactly when it's needed, with all its power, its clarity, and its undeniable force. And when the truth comes, it doesn't just change one thing. It changes everything. It forces a shift in perspective, a shift in the way the world sees what's really happening. It forces the people who thought they could manipulate and deceive to face the reality of their actions. It makes them confront the fact that no matter how hard they tried to suppress it, no matter how deep they buried it, the truth would always rise. This is why those who have wronged you, those who have caused pain and harm, they will pay. Not because you wish it on them, but because the truth will catch up with them. And when it does, they won't be able to deny the consequences of their actions. The truth will reveal it all, and justice will come, unrelenting, unstoppable, and absolute. And that, my friend, is the power of the truth. It's coming, and it will deliver what's rightfully due. They thought they could get away with it, didn't they? They underestimated your strength. They thought that by breaking you, by betraying you, by pulling the rug out from under you, they could make you stay down, stay silent. They thought you'd just stay in the corner, licking your wounds, waiting for life to pass you by. But they didn't see what was inside of you. They didn't see the fire, the resilience, the power that lives in your soul. They didn't know that you were unbreakable. Oh, they tried. They threw everything they had at you: insults, lies, manipulation, betrayal. But what they didn't realize is that every blow they delivered made you stronger. Every time they thought they had you down, you found a way to rise, to adapt, to learn, to keep moving forward. You didn't bend, you didn't break, and most importantly, you didn't stay silent. And now, as the storm begins to settle, as the dust starts to clear, they're going to see something they never expected: your unshakable resolve. This is the moment where everything changes. They thought they had power over you because they controlled the situation. But they didn't understand that you are the one with the true power. You've been through the fire. You've been through the darkness. And now you're standing taller, stronger, more determined than ever. You are the force that can't be stopped. You are the storm they never saw coming. And here's the thing: they'll never see the justice coming either. They won't see the consequences of their actions until it's too late. Because you've been building something inside yourself while they were scheming, while they were thinking they could outsmart you or take what they wanted from you. You've been growing. You've been learning. You've been preparing for this moment, when you would rise above it all, when you would stand tall, unwavering in the face of their betrayal. And when justice comes, it won't come quietly. It won't sneak up on them. No, justice is coming with all the power, all the force, and all the strength you've built. It will hit them like a freight train, and they will realize too late that they miscalculated. They misjudged you. They thought they could break you, but instead, they created a force they will never be able to defeat. So hold your head high. Keep moving forward with your head held high and your heart strong. Because the strength you've shown in the face of adversity has already set things in motion. Justice doesn't need to ask for permission. It will come when the time is right. And when it does, those who thought they could walk away unscathed will realize that they can't outrun your strength, your resolve, or the power of the universe's sense of justice. They will pay in full. Let me tell you something powerful. Justice doesn't start with the world. It starts with you. It begins the moment you decide that you're no longer willing to accept what's wrong, the moment you choose to stand up and demand the truth, to stand firm in your own belief that what is right will prevail. It doesn't start in the courts. It doesn't start in the streets. And it certainly doesn't start with anyone else. It begins in your heart, in your soul, in your mind. It begins when you stop hiding. It begins when you stop allowing others to walk all over you, to take advantage of your kindness, to exploit your trust. It starts when you look yourself in the mirror and say, enough is enough. You may have been patient. You may have endured. You may have stayed silent for the sake of peace or because you are afraid of confrontation. But now you see that the true power lies in your ability to stand up, to speak out, and to make your voice heard. Justice doesn't start by waiting for someone else to make things right. It starts when you decide that you are the catalyst for change, that you are not going to sit back and allow what is wrong to continue. You are not going to let those who have wronged you or others walk free. The moment you take that first step, the moment you raise your voice, the moment you make the decision that justice will be served, that is when it starts. You may feel powerless at times. You may feel like the odds are stacked against you, like the system or the people in charge are too big, too strong, too corrupt. But let me tell you, you are not powerless. You have the ability to change the course of everything. The universe works on the energy you put into it. The moment you decide to take control, to stand up for what's right, to not back down, you start a chain reaction. Your actions, your courage, your conviction, that is what drives the process. You are the one who sets it into motion. And when you make that choice, when you choose justice over silence, truth over lies, right over wrong, you begin to align yourself with something bigger than you. You align yourself with the very force of the universe that ensures that no injustice, no lie, no wrongdoing goes unaccounted for. The universe will start working in ways you can't even imagine to bring the right outcome. And when it does, it won't be just for you. It will be for everyone who stands up and fights for what's right. So don't wait. Don't think that someone else is going to fight your battle for you. Don't believe for a second that justice is something that happens to you. Justice begins with your belief, with your decision to stand tall, to claim your truth, and to never back down. And when you make that decision, when you own that power, justice doesn't just come. It rushes in like a tidal wave, sweeping away everything that doesn't belong, restoring balance and fairness where there was once chaos and pain. They will pay in full, not because you demanded it, but because the universe works in alignment with your courage, your determination, and your unwavering commitment to doing what's right. Let me make something crystal clear. They will pay. And not just for the harm they've caused you, but for every lie they've told, every person they've betrayed, every ounce of trust they've broken. It's easy for them to think they can walk away unscathed, to think they can simply move on as if nothing happened, that their actions won't catch up to them. But here's the truth. They will pay. They might think they're free, that they've escaped justice, but the universe has a way of righting the wrongs, of delivering exactly what is deserved in full. You see, justice isn't just about what happens in a courtroom or about the laws of the land. Justice is cosmic. It's bigger than what we can see. It's the force that ensures everything balances out, that what is taken will be returned, that the scales of right and wrong are evened out. Every act of harm, every ounce of cruelty, every ounce of deceit they've put out into the world has set something in motion. They might not see it yet, but it's coming. They can run. They can hide. They can try to buy their way out of accountability. But what they don't understand is that justice doesn't care about their wealth or their power. It doesn't care how influential they are. It doesn't care how much time they've had to cover their tracks. When the time comes, justice will be so thorough, so precise, so inevitable that they won't know what hit them. It will catch up to them. It will find them. And it will deliver exactly what they deserve. And let me be clear. This isn't about vengeance. It's not about you getting revenge or making them suffer just because they hurt you. No, it's about the law of cause and effect. It's about the fact that the energy they've put out into the world is going to come back to them. And that's not something you control. It's just the way the universe works. They will pay in full because every action, every decision they made has a ripple effect. And those ripples are coming for them. The thing about justice is that it doesn't need to be forced. It doesn't need to be begged for. It will come when the time is right. And when it does, it will be so undeniable, so impactful, that there will be no question about what's deserved. Their payment will come in full, not because you demand it, but because the universe has its own way of ensuring that balance is restored. And when that moment comes, they will see, without a doubt, that no wrong goes unanswered. No harm goes unaccounted for. They will realize that they cannot outrun the consequences of their actions. So keep your head high, stay focused, trust the process. Justice is not something you need to chase. It will find them, and when it does, it will be complete. Every debt will be settled. Every wrong will be righted, and they will pay in full. But let me remind you of this. Justice is not just a human endeavor. It is divine. It is rooted in the very nature of God, who is just and righteous in all his ways. The Bible tells us in Psalm 37:28, "For the Lord loves justice. He will not forsake his saints." And in Proverbs 21:15 it says, "When justice is done, it brings joy to the righteous, but terror to evildoers." God sees every wrong, every act of deceit, every betrayal. He knows the pain you've endured, the tears you've cried, and the battles you've fought. And he promises that justice will prevail. The creator of the universe, the one who holds time in his hands, knows exactly when and how to bring justice to light. He is not slow, as some count slowness, but patient, giving everyone the opportunity to turn from their ways. 2 Peter 3:9. But when the time is right, when his perfect plan unfolds, justice will come like a flood. It will be undeniable, unstoppable, and absolute. So, as you stand tall, as you hold on to your faith, remember this. God is with you. He is fighting for you. He is the ultimate judge, and his justice is perfect. Trust in his timing, for he knows the end from the beginning. He sees the bigger picture, and he is working all things together for your good. Romans 8:28. When justice comes, it will not just be a victory for you. It will be a testament to his faithfulness, his righteousness, and his unfailing love. So take heart, stand firm, keep believing. Justice is coming, and when it does, it will be a reflection of God's perfect will. They will pay in full not because of your strength, but because of his. And when that day comes, you will stand in awe of his power, his timing, and his unshakable justice. For he is the God of justice, and he will never let the wicked go unpunished.
Help us grow our faith-based Christian channel by subscribing, and don't forget to like and share to spread the message.